Hey everyone, today is going to be a great day for you guys because I'm going to be introducing what is my most recent build, and that is this 18-inch rifle length gun from using all Aero Precision parts, at least everything that I could from Aero Precision. I did a build series on this thing, and unfortunately the cameraman that was helping me with it didn't do the greatest job of keeping everything in focus or in frame. So unfortunately, probably won't be able to use that. However, my next build will also be very likely using a lot of Aero Precision parts. So I'm gonna do probably that all by myself, make sure I frame up everything to make sure that comes out well. And I've been trying to decide what I wanted to start with as far as testing and reviewing parts for this for this whole rifle. And I figured might as well start with just the tip. So today we're gonna be talking about the VG6 Gamma, which is actually made by Primary Arms. If you guys have seen the tour video that I did with them during TriggerCon, I actually saw these muzzle devices being built, which was pretty cool. At this point, I probably have 500 to 600 rounds through this upper alone, so I have plenty of time with this muzzle device, and I've been a big fan of it so far. These have been out for a little bit, however, these are pretty new to me. So really quick, what I'm gonna go ahead and do is just dump a couple rounds downrange, let you see how this thing performs as it's kind of getting a little dark right now. Then we'll go into a little bit more empirical testing, and I'll give you my opinions on this thing overall. Maybe do some accuracy testing with it too, just so you can see what kind of groups I'm able to get with this muzzle device attached to this 18-inch 223 Wild barrel from Aero Precision. But without any further ado, let's go ahead and have some fun. All right, so as you may have seen, hardly any movement whatsoever, which is really, really great with this thing. So let's go ahead and set up a little bit more of an empirical test so you can see exactly how much movement we're getting here. And then I'll give you some more of my opinions on this muzzle device as well as some specifics on it. All right, so as you can see, the paper definitely got knocked down pretty quick. Now again, this is relatively close. We're probably actually looking, yeah, right around a foot of distance from it. So that's pretty close. That's pretty much what you're gonna expect when it comes to brakes. Now, if you want less of a side blast like that, you're probably gonna wanna look for something else. But as far as keeping it nice and steady, now again, I'll have to look at the footage again myself, but it definitely doesn't feel like it's moving to me at all. So let's go ahead and do a couple more quick mag dumps with it, and then we'll talk about the specifics of the muzzle device. So just subjectively, I'm going to tell you what the experience was like just then. I have the scope. This is a Primary Arms 4-14 first focal plane DMR scope in 5.56, and however many rounds that was, plenty. I was holding on a steel target at 100 yards, and never once did that steel target leave my field of view with this scope. Again, at 9 power, goes up higher, but that's what I had it out right now. I don't know how many hits I got because there was a constant noise back here, but this rifle, the front of it's just not moving anywhere, which is pretty great. So I'm going to try to let this thing cool before we do the accuracy testing with it, because we just dumped a bunch of rounds through it. So I'm going to go ahead and talk to you about the features on this muzzle device. Like I said earlier, this is a 2-chamber style brake. You have the wrench flats on it, and it does come with a crush washer, which is really nice. That's how you attach it. Works exceptionally well so far from my experience. So the 2-chamber brake on the side has been really, really effective at reducing the felt recoil. It just keeps that muzzle really, staying right where it is. And then you have the cutouts on the top, which do really good at keeping that muzzle down. And then they have some more here on the bottom, if you can see that, which kind of help balance out the way that gas is coming out. Now, I have seen videos of people shooting full auto with these to the point where it actually pushes the muzzle down as they're shooting in full auto. Now, again, though, if you're like me and you're not using it on a full auto lower, or you're like 90, probably 5% of people out there shooting who don't have access to a full auto lower, that's not going to be an issue for you. And honestly, you're probably not going to be able to replicate the rates of fire to where you're going to feel it push down. So at the semi-automatic rate of fire, or i.e. as fast as you can pull the trigger, it's really just going to keep that muzzle right where it's at, which is pretty great. And then again, you know, this is an 18-inch barrel on a rifle length gas system. Rifle length gas systems are pretty soft shooting as it is. Putting this thing on the front, I mean, there's like hardly anything that you're feeling. So as far as like having a new shooter or someone who might be recoil sensitive, this is a pretty good way to start them out. They're really light, which is really nice. I want to say they're just over 2 ounces. I've had plenty of breaks before in the past where that muzzle device, while effective, is pretty heavy, and you can definitely feel that weight, especially on a longer barrel like this one. So having it lightweight is a really, really good thing in my opinion. Now, one cool thing too that Aero Precision is making for these is basically a cage that's going to go over the top of it, which is going to direct a lot of that blast forward. Now, I obviously don't have one of those right now, but as you saw with that side blast test, with one of those cages on there, it's probably not going to have anywhere near the effect that we just had. Now, again, for 95% of shooters, that side blast isn't going to be an issue anyway. However, for those of you taking a class or working in teams with people, that side blast is going to have a little bit more impact. So having a cage like that will be nice for people using it in those kind of situations. Now, the barrel isn't cold by any means, but let's go ahead and shoot some groups with this thing and see what kind of accuracy we're still able to get with this muzzle device. If it's anything like the accuracy I've gotten with this barrel already, I think we're going to be pretty happy with it. So let's go ahead and set back up underneath the overhang. Right now, I just have a target set up at 50 yards. I put one further out, but we're already losing light as it is. So I'm just going to try to knock this out as fast as I can. Got it in a Caldwell lead sled. Just for reference, the ammo I'm shooting is 62 grain Fiocchi full metal jacket. I've found that this barrel really likes this ammo. So hopefully we'll be able to get some decent groups to demonstrate to you here in a second. But I'm going to try to make this quick since we're losing light fast, like I said. Alright, there's one 5-shot group. All right, I got quite a mirage going. That group was not great. Let's see if I can fight through this mirage and get another tight group like the first one. All right, so 3 5-shot groups. Let's go grab that paper and see what happened. Okay, so as you saw, those groups were going pretty quick. I'm losing light, so that's why I was doing that. Shot 3 5-shot groups, again of the 62 grain Fiocchi ammo. So it's by no means a match ammo. However, I have had really good luck with pretty much all Fiocchi ammo in the past, hence why I use them so much in my tests. First 5-shot group was down here. You can see, again, this is only 50 yards, but going as fast as I was, we're still looking at maybe 3/4 of an inch for all 5 shots right there. Second group, the wind kind of died down a little bit, so all the mirage from that really hot barrel was coming straight up. So it strung out a little bit left to right. Again, I blame that on the Mirage myself. Take that for what you will. And then the wind kind of picked up a little bit to push that Mirage off to the side again. And then my third 5-shot group up here, again, probably around 3/4 to 1/2 inch. So not too bad. If I was taking my time and I was using, you know, match grade ammo or something like that, I know this barrel can do a lot better than that. Typically, to be honest with you, just sneak peek at what that barrel review is going to be like. This is typically what I get at 100 yards. So just FYI, hopefully when I do the barrel review, which will be very soon, you'll be able to see that for yourself. So suffice it to say, I'm a really big fan of this VG6 Gamma muzzle device. On their website, they say that it's tuned for barrels between 10.5 and 18.5 inches. So obviously with an 18-inch barrel here, it seems perfectly fine. Obviously, the shorter the barrel you get, the more that side blast is going to be an issue. So if you do put this on a 10.5-inch barrel, that side blast might be more considerable because obviously that gas is still burning pretty much as it leaves the barrel. And you may have noticed there's really not as much muzzle blast as you would think with one of these. But again, 18-inch barrel, that's going to have an effect on how much of that is still burning once it reaches the end of the barrel. So again, your results may vary based on your barrel length, but again, regardless of barrel length, it seems to be in a very, very effective muzzle device. It's definitely at home here on this 18-inch build. I don't plan on replacing it unless I get a dedicated silencer for this upper, which if that does happen, it won't be anytime soon. Again, a big fan of this. They're probably about mid-range as far as cost goes on quality muzzle devices. That again, definitely worth mentioning, made here in the United States. I have physically seen these muzzle devices being made up in Tacoma, Washington, as well as the little cages that they put on them. And so hopefully I'll be able to get one of those kind of blast cages to test out. Basically, it locks into those little 2 grooves you see there. I think that'll just be a welcome addition, especially on the shorter barrels. Once you get down to 14.5 and down, that'll probably be a very welcome thing if, again, you're shooting in teams or taking classes or anything like that. But again, I'm a big fan of this 18-inch build that I did with Aero Precision. You guys are going to be seeing pretty much everything on this gun, getting its own individual review, everything from their ambi charging handle to one of their black nitrided bolts, which I've been a very big fan of. The barrel, handguard, everything. So really, really good. Oh, and optic mount too. Worth mentioning right there if you can see that A. Really, really like this build. This is my first rifle length build, and it's growing on me really, really fast, and I'm liking it. So anyway, if you want to see more on this upper and lower receiver combo, definitely subscribe to my channel if you're not already, and you'll see those videos once they go up. Like I said, over the next couple months, I'll be hitting everything on this gun, scope, mount, everything. So really, really big fan of everything on it so far, though. And if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, go ahead and throw those in the comment section down below. I'll try to get back to you as quick as I can. If there's more tests that you want to see with this VG6 Gamma, go ahead and let me know about that as well. And maybe once I get that cage in, Cajun. Could go for some Popeyes right now. Once I get that cage in, I can do some more of those tests. But again, suffice to say, I'm a really big fan of it. For the price, it's really going to be hard to beat. Again, especially for one that's made here in America, up in Tacoma, Washington. So that's really great stuff there. For those of you who are interested, I do have a Patreon page, so I'll have a link to that down below. The people who support me on Patreon are how I'm able to supply myself with ammo for some of these tests, and then I have Fiocchi helping me out with the rest of it, so a huge thanks to them for that. But again, the patrons, you guys get to see videos early, as well as some behind-the-scenes videos and pretty regular range updates whenever I am able to make it out here. But anyway, with all that said, as always, I hope you're able to get something out of this video, and I really appreciate you watching.